President Trump not backing down in the battle over how to deal with the caravan. The president saying he'll stop migrants from entering the United States.
We are sending a simple message to the lawless caravans and to the illegal trespassers marching toward our border. It's very simple. Turn back now. Go back home. We will not let you in. We are not going to let you in.
President Trump also accusing migrants in the caravan of using children as human shields after Border Patrol agents fired tear gas on Sunday.
Why is a parent running up into an area where they know the tear gas is forming and it's going to be formed, and they're running up with a child? And in some cases, you know, they're not the parents. These are people, they call them grabbers. They grab a child because they think they're going to have a certain status by having a child.
And counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, blasting media coverage of the attempted border breach.
The media, mainstream media, only wants you to see the children, the families. They're not telling you that most of the caravan are males traveling by themselves, that, of course, projectiles and rocks were thrown at our brave men and women at the border, and they use non-lethal force in response because they have a right to defend themselves and to make sure that others who are there are not harmed.
Meanwhile, a potential government shutdown now looming, with President Trump reportedly demanding $5 billion to build a border wall. We'll get to that in a moment. But, Greg, how are we going to wrap this up down there? I did have a report earlier today on the Daily Briefing.
No,
I'm sure you weren't watching.
Oh, that's at 2 p.m., correct?
That there were two.
Was Chris Stirewalt on?
No, he was not. Not today. There were two busloads of teenagers who have decided to go home. They turned around and went back.
That's a smart move. You know, one of the burdens of being a conservative is we're always siding with the constrained law and order perception, which means that we'll always be accused of lacking compassion. There's no way out of it. If you are a conservative or a right-winger or even a libertarian, you will always be seen as insensitive. And especially in situations like these, you will be accused of being cruel because they'll have footage of tear gas and pepper spray, and it makes everybody look bad. The problem is, it's actually the opposite, because who warned that this was going to happen? Us. And when we talked about this, we were accused of being exploitative or exploitive. I think both will work. So, or that this was just a right-wing figment that we were talking about. So when we talked about this happening and saying it wouldn't end well, the other media laughed at us. And then when it actually happens and it doesn't end well, they blame us. So you can't win, and it's actually wrong. I think it's the conservatives and the people that are for law and order and constrained that were actually had the best interest for this group of manipulated souls. These are souls who are being manipulated by activists, and it's a persuasive left-wing ploy to do this kind of thing, but it never ends well for the people that are being used.
Jesse, I talked to an administration official at DHS who said that I asked the question, what does success look like to you in a month? And they said an orderly process for asylum claims taken place in Mexico, that they think that that's what they would like to get to, and that's their goal.
It's a good goal. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Now that I'm a dog owner, Dana, I'm much more compassionate. I want to let the caravan in. I feel like these people deserve a chance. And then I listen to Greg talk, and I think, you know what? You can be compassionate and be for law and order.
You can be a compassionate conservative.
Did I just say that? Compassionate conservative? I just walked you right into that slogan, didn't I? The perfect person to articulate that. So, listen, this has to be fixed, and it has to be fixed soon, because not only do the people on the northern side of the border dislike it, the people in Tijuana hate it. It's a huge crisis. And for some reason, all the people that are American citizens, the Border Patrol agents that are our fellow patriots that are protecting our safety, they're the ones who are being villainized by the left. Yet the people from Central America throwing rocks at their heads, they're the victims. They're the heroes. And it's completely backwards, because this president believes in America first, and the left believes in blame America first. It's an underdog mentality. They're uncomfortable with being the world superpower. So whenever an underdog or a third world country or anybody not as powerful as America has any sort of assault on this country, the immediate thought is, what did we do to provoke this? Why are we to blame? How can we, accept this assault in a polite way, because we're so powerful, we can just take it on the chin all the time. And that's the wrong way to think about it. And that mentality has really infected the thought process of many people on the left that are okay with what's going on at the border. And I just think it's wrong.
I'm not sure if anyone, Juan, do you think that the Democrats are worried that they are being perceived as being okay with what's going on south of the border?
I think that what they worry about is how President Trump is trying to structure this as an invasion, as somehow these are people who constitute a threat to American security in some cases, or they're criminals or gang members, as opposed to the reality, which is that they're a desperate bunch of people who are coming and seeking asylum. What we've done is, at the moment, we've funneled them all in to one place, and then we tell them to wait on the other side. And, of course, there are long delays in terms of the processes that we were talking about. And so then people get frustrated, as human beings do, especially when they've been through a long journey, apparently about a quarter to more of them with children. And so the children are out of control. Everybody's frustrated and anxious. And then you get situations like this. I think who created this was Donald Trump.
He didn't start the caravan.
No, I didn't say that.
People shouldn't riot because they're waiting. All immigrants wait.
No. You don't wait like this.
Oh, yes, you do.
Let me just say that previously you had people waiting. So what we've had with Trump, I mean, just stop and think about it. You had separation of families at the border.
Obama did that.
No, he didn't do it like this. And secondly, you have things like, go after, close the borders he's now talking about. This is, again, it's absurd. But
how did Trump start the caravan one?
He didn't start. I didn't say he started. I said he started this by forcing. He said, right now, the only way that he wants people, a federal judge has said he's wrong, but he said the only place that you can apply is through existing ports of entry. You can't just come across the border, which has been the practice in the past for people who are seeking asylum. So then you put people in jeopardy, you create anxiety, and then you say, you're bad people. This is outrageous.
Let me get Morgan in here, because the sheer number of people that are coming over, I think that is what has definitely changed. And DHS has said that they were watching this. They're like, this is the biggest caravan. There's another one behind this one and another one yet behind this one. And so something else needs to happen. It can't just be status quo.
Actually, I think the last time I was on the show, Dana, you brought up a great point, and
I've been
talking about this too.
It's in our Great Point Journal.
Yeah, I have a Great Point Journal.
But we're not looking holistically about where the root of all of this is coming from in Central America. When we're looking at all of these countries that are failed states, we need to look at a regional approach to this. And also, when you look at the border, it's not just about immigration or migrants coming in. 90% of the heroin, the majority of the fentanyl that's getting in through this country gets in through the southern border. So politically, all we're seeing is, because the media has decided it's politically correct to be on the side of the immigrants. So we're seeing images of children and babies, which is terrible. I could also take you to every region of the world. I could take you to Syria. I could take you to Afghanistan. I could take you to the Middle East. I could take you to Africa and show you pictures of women and babies that would break our heart. But the whole world can't come here. So we have to figure out, who do we help? Why? And we can't discount the national security aspect of this, of an insecure border with drugs and many illicit things coming across. So it's a much bigger problem, but everyone is just taking political pot shots at each other right now.
I want to just double down on Greg's point, because Juan said something that Trump is responsible for what we're seeing right here. A month ago, Donald Trump warned the Central American governments, stop this. We're going to pull away your aid. Please don't let them come. He warned Mexico, don't let them come. And then he said, you know what, if you come here, we're not going to give you asylum. And if you try to cross the border, we're going to detain you until we process you and not do catch and release. And he has warned about this. He said there's going to be violent clashes. He's tried to bolster the southern border. And now when you have a situation where all these warnings have been unheeded by these people and by the media, they get there, they throw rocks, they disperse them with tear gas, which is law enforcement 101.
Obama did it 80 times.
Obama did it 80 times. No one said a word. And then Trump is to blame, Juan. Trump's been trying to stop this from the jump.
No, I just said, when you construct a situation where you force people into an untenable situation,
but he didn't force them.
He did, because of the ports of entry argument, which is why they're all right now stacked up into Iran.
Or else it could be, just crossing illegally over the border, and then you got the coyote problem, and then dying in the desert.
And you have more caravans
And that would also be Trump's fault, apparently.
They chose this border.